All right. Shalom, shalom, Ezra. First, I want to give all honor and glory to the Most High, Yahweh. Shema Mashiach Pamarak Yahushua. Yahweh is the name of the Father, who the world calls God. Right, and Yahweh is the name of his only begotten Son, who the world only calls Jesus Christ. I want to give a strong shalom to all the mighty men, right, that's going out and laboring, right, that's teaching, enduring the scoffers, the elements, right, the cold winters, and the 100-degree weathers, and everything that's coming their way. I want to give another strong shalom to all the Iqua, right, that's reverencing their husbands, being teachers of good things, submissive, tender, delicate, and on fire for the Lord. And last but not least, I want to give another strong shalom to all the mighty children, right, and teenagers in this thing as well, doing all they can to make their calling and election sure in the last days, right? And the topic of this video is, right, does it feel like time is moving faster, right? The days are getting shorter. Because if you've been watching, time is at an all-time high, right? Time is speeding up in the last days. The days don't feel the same, right? I literally talk to brothers all the time about this. This is one brother, we call up each other. All we talk about is how the days are going by faster, right? How you wake up, it's 9 o'clock, then you got to go to work, and you don't get off to 3 o'clock, right? It might take you an hour to get home, 2 hours to get home, right? It's 5 o'clock. Then you got to get in the shower, do what you got to do. Next thing you know, it's already 9 p.m. Then you go to sleep at 11 o'clock. You wake back up, it's 5 in the morning. These how the days are operating in the last days if you haven't been noticing, right? If you've been watching, you know that time been speeding up. Time is like a stopwatch, man. It's just steady stopping and going. That's because the Lord is speeding up the time in the last days, right? Let's go to the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 7, right? And Esau, I believe I did another video on this a minute ago, but hey, the Lord having me touch upon it again through the Spirit, right? And Esau tell you, he says, time waits on no man, right? And that's probably the most wisest thing a so-called white man could ever say, because time don't wait for nobody, right? You working on the Lord's time. Nobody is working on your own time, right? And time is not stopping for mortal men. All right, let's go to the book of 1 Corinthians, right? So you don't have all the time in the world. Time is short. Let's go to the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 7, right? And verse number 29. It says, but this I say, brethren, right? And when you read 1 Corinthians, the 7th chapter, Paul is giving advice and wisdom to the church of Corinth on how to deal with certain marriage situations, right? In its context, right? But we're gonna pull it through the Spirit, right? It's 1 Corinthians 7 and 29. But this I say, brethren, the time is short, right? So playing upon tables, the time is short. We don't have all the time in the world, right? It's not 2002 where the days feel like it was stretched out, where you could go outside and play for hours and you come back home, it's 5 o'clock. Those days are over with, right? It's not the 90s no more. It's dang sure not the 80s no more. Hey, time is short. Time is ticking, right? You can't even get a fast, a 24-hour fast don't even feel like a full day no more. A fast feel like 12 hours now, right? 8 hours, right? So time is speeding up. You can't even study no more. You probably used to get 3 hours of studying in. Now they feel like an hour because the Lord is cutting down that time, right? You go to work. You go to sleep at 10 p.m. You wake up at down 5 a.m. It felt like you got 30 minutes of sleep. Why? Because the time is short. The Lord is reminding you that the time is getting short in the last days, right? You don't have all the time in the world again. You got certain men, right? They think they got all the time in the world. They come off work, they kick their feet up, right? Then they watching ESPN and say, I'll read tomorrow. We don't know if we gonna be here tomorrow, right? Let's go to the book of Ephesians. And that's scary. It's scary, but it's exciting at the same time. Why is it scary? Because of the destruction that's coming. But it's also exciting because your redemption and your salvation is nearer. So it's scary, but it's exciting, man. But let's go to the book of Ephesians. Right, chapter 5. Let's go to the book of Ephesians, chapter 5. And I want verse, it's like Ephesians 4. Right? And I want verse number, let me see. Ephesians chapter 4. Verse number, like it, that might be Philippians. Right. It's the book. Lord willing, come back to me. Right. Let's go to the book of Matthew, the 24th chapter. Right. And the Lord told you of these things if you didn't know. Right. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 24. Right. And I'm going to start at verse number 22. Right. Matthew 24 and 22. It says, and except those days should be shortened, there shall no flesh be saved. So the Lord said, if he don't hop into the time of this world, it don't shorten the days, nobody's going to be saved. Why? Because all the wickedness that's on the earth, all the evil, right? The famine that's coming, the evil spirits that's increasing in the last days. The Lord said, what? If he don't shorten those days, hey, nobody might make it out of here. That's what he's saying right now. Right? Stop thinking you got a guaranteed spot to get everlasting life just because you've been teaching, right? Doing videos, praying, fasting, reading. None of that is guaranteed. It says, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. So the Lord already told you he's going to shorten the days. And now you see in effect, right? You see in the days being short, right? You see in damn time flying by at an all-time high, right? Brother said all the time we living in the last days. We living in the last days. Guess what? Hey, we living in the last hours because these hours is going by too fast. You can't even grasp time because it's literally just each hour, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. Then you got to get back up and you got to go to the plantation. That's because the Lord is short next sake. Right? Men getting spirits on them, talking to other men, right? Committing adultery, lying. All of these great wickedness is increasing on the last days, and the Lord don't shorten the days. Men is not going to be saved. And that's how the Lord wanted. The Lord don't want everybody to get saved. Last time I checked. Right, let's go to the book of Isaiah. Right? Let's go to the book of Isaiah. All right, I want to get this precept in Isaiah chapter, right? Chapter 24 and verse 6, right? Isaiah chapter 24 and verse 6. Therefore have the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left. So the times is coming where it's going to be few men left on the earth. So whether you like it, whether you might not be ready for it. You might say, well, I need to increase on my faith. The Lord, like I said, the Lord is not going on man's time. So what if you're not ready or not? The Lord wants few men and women on this earth. He don't want 7 billion people to be on the earth. No, the Lord is taking men in great number. Right? So let's go to the book of Wisdom of Solomon. Right, Salakia. It's a camera. Right, let's go to the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 4. Right, so the Lord said, for the elect's sake, he was shortening the days. right? It's the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 4 and verse number 9. I'm going to start at verse 10. It said, he pleased God and was beloved of him, so that living amongst sinners, he was translated. Right? It's talking about Enoch. When you read Genesis, the 5th chapter, right? Enoch was taken up into a chariot, right? And Enoch was living amongst sinners, right? In Genesis, the 5th chapter, it don't give an in-depth account of what was going on during the time of Enoch. But when you read Wisdom of Solomon, the 4th chapter, it's getting an in-depth account, kind of, sort of what really happened. So Enoch, he was living amongst sinners. What are the elect doing right now? The elect is living amongst sinners. You living amongst homosexuality. You living amongst men and women that don't want to serve the Most High. You living amongst men that want to eat pork chops, that want to do the lust of the flesh, that want to watch pornography, that don't want to be on fire. You're living amongst sinners, right? You got to get out of this illusion. You got to snap out of it. You got men and women in the truth. They still sleep. You got to snap out of it. You have to wake up. You have to realize your life is on the line. Every single day you wake up, you got something to lose, right? Like the brother said, a matrix. You living in a matrix. You got to wake up, right? You got to go, and you got to read the Bible. Some of you brothers and sisters in the truth don't read, right? You kind of like Jake that's out there. You just don't read. So you wouldn't know what's actually written, right? I'm going to keep reading on that. It says, yes, speedily he was taken away, lest that wickedness should alter his understanding, or deceit beguile his soul. So Enoch had to be taken away speedily. If the Lord didn't take Enoch away speedily, we don't know what would have happened. Enoch would have probably became the Enoch on the left-hand side, right? So if the Lord don't get the elect out of here, guess what? That their wickedness literally could alter their understanding. That's why it said in Matthew 24 and 22, except those days be shortened, no flesh shall be saved, right? But if for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. Enoch represents the elect. So Enoch was taken out speedily. Unless over a amount of time, Enoch would have probably stopped serving the Lord. It says what? Verse 12. For the bewitching of naughtiness doth obscure things that are honest, and the wandering of concupiscence doth undermine the simple mind. See that? So little wickedness, small things that are wicked to the Lord, it could literally corrupt some that have good intentions. And Enoch was pure and innocent. He was a righteous man, right? And Enoch prophesied of the second coming of the Lord. So the Lord had to get Enoch out of there speedily. And if certain men, if they don't get off the earth, if the Lord don't come back in time and he don't shorten these days, men is not going to make it. Men are going to fall out the truth left and right. They're going to fall out like dead flies. Not even fall out the truth. A lot of men and women going to get destroyed in the last days. This is what the Lord said. Right, let's go to 2nd Ezra, the 8th chapter. Right, so you're running out of time. I believe they got a movie called Out of Time. Right, or Running Out of Time. You're running out of time. Right, let's go to 2nd Ezra, the 8th chapter. The Sabbath day don't even feel like the Sabbath day no more. Right, you close up after camp. You go home, you wake up again, you have camp, and then it's the next week. It's Sunday again. Now you got to go back to work. So these days don't feel the same no more. Well, I was talking to the Akim probably a week back. He was like, man, and around that 2000, you kind of could have went outside, right? The days just felt longer, right? You could have had a good time. But now it's no such thing as having a good time. And you got Jake in the world. I asked my so-called Issachar, right? My co-worker, I said, is time moving? Is time going by fast? He said, yeah, time going by fast, man, right? So you got men in the world that's saying this. They saying time is running out. They saying time, man, the days is this week just flew by. We already in December, man. It was just Pentecost, like feel like it was Pentecost like 3 weeks ago. We already in December. Guess what? 2022 is here. It's right around the corner. So you brothers and sisters, you running out of time. What are you gonna do with your time? Are you gonna invest it and say, you know what? I'm gonna take this time that the Lord gave me to work on my faith, right, and my endurance, right? Somebody said, so true. The days and years are speeding by super quick. There you have it, right? That's two witnesses, man. Because you got people, I kind of talked to Jake at my job. Jake said, nah, you just getting older, right? Because when they're younger, they don't understand the concept of time. That's what he told me. Hey, where's that at in the Bible? Kids don't understand the concept of time. But when you grow older, you start to understand the concept of time, and things start to go by faster. Where's that at in the Holy Bible? That's not in there. Stop believing the fables that the so-called white man tell you. No, the Lord is speeding up the time. The Lord wants his judgment to come swiftly. The Lord, and you living in the end of the world, right? The Lord wants these seals to kick off and these vows to kick off. So God is speeding up the time. Stop letting the so-called white man trick you into his damn science and his philosophies. No, the Lord is doing this. We just read it. Time is short, right? So let's go to the book of 2nd Esdras. Right, chapter 8. Let's go to 2nd Esdras, chapter 8. Right? And verse number 3. It says, there be many created, but few shall be saved. And that's plain. The Lord said it's many men created. I believe Esau says like 7 billion people on the earth right now. So, the Lord got more spirits than 7 billion. So it's many people created, right? But few shall be saved. That's plain, man. Men are gonna die in the truth, in and out of the truth. Why? Because they didn't use the time that they had now wisely. They let the time slip them, right? They didn't use that time to actually study, to work on their spirit. They used that time to show out in front of the camera. Or they used that time to be a class clown in the truth. Or they used that time for foolishness, right? So there be many created, but few shall be saved. And you brothers and sisters, you got to acknowledge men are going to die. Women are going to die in and out of the truth, man, right? Hey, I could die at any minute, right? That's Proverbs 27:1. That's James 4:14 on down, right? My life is not promised. It tell you that in Job 8:9, man, right? Man days are but a shadow. It tell you that in Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter, right, 14 on down. So I could die at any minute. And whatever I did in the time that I did have, it is what it is. So tomorrow is not promised. Next week is not promised. 2 years from now is not promised. What are you doing with the time you have now? Because men are going to die. That's what the Lord said. All right, let's go to 2nd Esdras. All right, let's go to the book of 2nd Esdras. Right, I want 2nd Esdras chapter. Right, I want 2nd Esdras chapter 7, and I'm gonna start at verse 19. And he said unto me, there is no judge above God, and none that understanding above the highest. For there be many that perish in his life. So many men, they're going to die in his lifetime. You got to accept that. Your wife might die. You might die. Your children might die. Right? It's written. Stop thinking that God is just going to save everybody just because you're in the truth. Just because you know the knowledge of the Most High. Just because you kept the commandments. No. It's written, men are going to die. It says because they despise the law of God that is set before them. And that's going to happen in and out of the truth. Men is not going to use this time wisely. You need to take the time out right now and go spend it with the Lord, man. That's what Esdras did, right? Hey, Esdras was so in tune and so in love with the Most High and the wisdom and knowledge that he told, let's get that in 2nd Esdras, the 5th chapter. He told the man, hey, the man kind of came out the city and said, well, Esdras, what are you doing? He kind of said, get the hell away from me. That's what he said. He said, I really love the Lord. I want to spend time with the Lord. Right? Let's get that in 2nd Esdras. Right, chapter 5. Right, 2nd Esdras, chapter 5, and verse number 12. Right? So like in 2nd Esdras, chapter 5, and verse 16. Right? It says, and in the second night, it came to pass that Seliel, the captain of the people, came unto me, saying, where hast thou been? And why hast thou countenance so heavy? Why is thy countenance so heavy? Right. So when you read 2nd Esdras, right, Esdras was literally talking with Uriel the angel. He was getting certain breakdowns and revelations through the Spirit. Hey, Esdras was getting secrets. Hey, Ezra, when you read 2nd Esdras, the 13th chapter, Ezra, he literally seen the end of vision of the second coming of Yahushua. He seen the Roman Empire when you read 2nd Esdras, the 11th chapter. So Ezra's, he was getting secrets, right? Reading on. It says, where hast thou been? So he like, where are you, Esdras? Why you not down there with the people? Right? Verse 17. Knowest thou not that Israel is committed unto thee in the land of their captivity? Up then and eat bread and forsake us not as the shepherd that leaveth his flock in the hands of cruel wolves. He said, man, get up, right? You can eat the bread, man. Why? You got to come and help the people, right? We need you, Ezra. Guess what Ezra said? Now, Ezra could have said, you know what? Okay, Mosai, I'm gonna come back and fast 7 days again next week. Ezra could have said that. I'm gonna fast 7 days again next week. Let's see what Ezra told this man. He said what? Then said I unto him, go thy ways from me, and come not nigh. It says, and come not nigh me. And he heard what I said and went from me. So Ezra said, you know what? Get away from me. He really told him, get the hell away from me. Right? And dude kind of, he went back to the city. It says, verse 20, and so I fasted 7 days, mourning and weeping, like as Uriel the angel told me. So Ezra, he told that man, hey, he told him, get the hell away from me. Right? Then he fasted for 7 days. So Ezra, he didn't have time to go down there and deal with the people. He knew that these secrets and these end up breakdowns is not going to be here forever. Right? So you got to ask yourself, what are you spending your time on? Right? You got certain brothers saying, I want to go to Fight Fest. Right? I want to go to the Christmas party. Brother, we don't have time to go to Christmas parties. And my mom, she just called me the other day. She said, I want you to take family photos. And I want the theme to be pajamas. Right? I kind of laughed at her, man. We're not dealing with family photos with pajamas. I don't have time. That's what I'm going to start telling people. Right? If it's not focused on the oracles of the Most High, right? The wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and spending time with the Lord, I don't have time. That's what I'm going to start telling people. You want to go out to eat donuts, right? You want to go to breakfast, right? Oh, let's go to Six Flags. I don't have time to go to Six Flags. We living in the end of the world. And neither do you have time. We just read in 1 Corinthians 7:29 that time is short. You don't have forever, right? So you got to take this time right now that you have and forsake everything and dwell with the Most High. That's what our Lord said. Let's go to the classic. Let's go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 55. So you got to be building that strong connection with the Lord. Because the Lord going to say in that day, I never knew you. Right? And it's so much work to put in, it's crazy. right? It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 55 and verse 6, right? The classic. It says, seek ye the Lord while he may be found. Now, why would the Lord say, seek me while I'm found? Why would he say that? Because it's going to be a time where the Most High is not going to be found. It's going to be a time you're going to say, oh, I wish I went on that fast. I wish I would have prayed that extra time. I wish I would have got up early, man. You don't want to have that I wish spirit in the you don't want to have that I wish spirit in Jacob's trouble, right? The Lord said, seek him while he be found. Meaning you better draw nigh to the Most High while he right here. Because it's going to be a time where he's going to depart. And he's only going to dwell with the men that fear him. It says, call ye upon him while he is near. Right? Because the days is coming where the Lord is not going to be near. And a lot of brothers, even in the truth, right? It's going to be too late. Right? Let's go to Isaiah chapter 17. Right? And verse number 7. Isaiah chapter 17 and verse number 7. It says, at that day shall a man look to his maker, and his eyes shall have respect to the Holy One of Israel. So in that day when all hell breaks loose, right, when the time runs out, when you can't do anymore, you can't give alms anymore, because in Jacob's trouble, you can't give alms. You can't say, you know what, I want to send $30 on Cash App, right, to HOI, right, or to a WFI. You can't do that in Jacob's trouble. You're not going to be able to send alms. But it says, in that day shall a man look to his maker. So in that day, a lot of people, they're going to want to look to the Most High. But guess what? The Lord is going to withdraw himself. Right? The Lord is going to say, I never knew you. Who are you? Why do you want to call upon me now? Why didn't you read when you had a chance? Why didn't you study when you had the chance? Why didn't you get up early in them early mornings? Why didn't you stay up late? Why didn't you read that extra chapter? Get that extra fasting? Why didn't you help your brother in the time of need? Why didn't you just give that extra $10 for alms? Why didn't you have integrity? Right? That's what the Lord is going to say to you. Right? And that's scary. Right? Let's go to the book of Matthew. Right? Let's go to the book of Matthew. Right? Right? It's the book. It's lucky. Right? It's lucky. Bear with me. Ram plucked out the fire. It's like it. Bear with me. Go to the book. Right? It's like I'm gonna drop that. All right, let's go to the book of Ephesians. Right? Let's go to the book of Ephesians, chapter 5 and verse number 16. Right? Ephesians chapter 5 and verse number 16. It says, redeeming the time. So in the last days, if you notice that the time been moving faster, you somewhat of a wise man, right? You somewhat of a wise woman. The Lord said, redeem the time because the days are evil. That's plain, man. The days you come into is evil. You think it's wickedness right now? Wait till in Jacob's trouble, right? I can't even utter the things that are gonna come to pass, man. I can't utter, man. It's unlawful for a man to utter, but it's written. You read about it in 2nd Esdras 16, 2nd Esdras 9, 2nd Esdras 8, right? 2nd Esdras chapter 15. You read about it in Matthew, the 24th chapter, right? The days are evil. And you have to be under the protection of the Most High. If you're not under that protection, guess what? You're going to be struck out of luck. How do you get under that protection? You use the time that you have now wisely. You got to use that time wisely, right? They say it's 3 things in the world that you can never get back, right? You can never get trust back. Because if you've been friends with this person since 1st grade, and then y'all 20 years old and he go behind your back, hey, you won't look at that man the same. Although y'all been friends since 1st grade, you wouldn't look at that man or woman the same. That's because that trust, you can never get that back. Words, the words you say out of your mouth, you can't say, you know what, my bad. Let me put the words back in my mouth. No, once you speak something, that's it. It's already out there. And the last thing you can never get back, what's the last thing you can never get back? Just guess, right? Time. You can never get time back. You can't say, you know what? I forgot to shower at 3 o'clock yesterday. Let me rewind the time back and go get in the shower. You can't do that. You can never get time back. When the Lord comes back, guess what? The time is over. All of your works is going to be tallied up. Whatever you have, it is what it is. If you have bad works, you can't do nothing about it, right? That's like it's 3 seconds left on the clock, right? You coming down the court, you kind of doing your dribble moves, right? You probably cross somebody over and you going up for the shot, right? It's 1 second left, right? And you shoot. Now, hey, if you miss, it is what it is. The time is up, right? If you shoot and miss, hey, it is what it is. You can't say, you know what? Let me get 3 seconds more left on the shot clock. No, that's it. It's wraps. The game is over. You don't either have your head down when the game is over, or you're gonna be shouting and crying for joy if you make the shot. And that's gonna be the thing with a lot of brothers. You gotta make sure you're not that man with his head down. You gotta make sure you're not that woman with your head down. You want to make sure you're in the protection of the Almighty. All right, let's go to Sirach, chapter 33. And that protection by the Lord gonna be something crazy in the last days, man. All right, let me actually get that in 2nd Esdras first, right? Esdras, he's gonna be protected. The Lord already said it. And Esdras is a blessed man, right? When you read 2nd Esdras, right, chapter 14, right? There's so many precepts in 2nd Esdras, it's crazy. All right, let's go to 2nd Esdras. I'm going to get this first. All right, this 2nd Esdras chapter 10 and verse number 56. And then shalt thou hear as much as thine ears may comprehend, for thou art blessed above many other, and are called with the highest, and so are but few. So it's not a lot of few. It's only a few men that's called with a calling of the Most High, right? And it said Esdras is blessed, right? So like I believe the brother said, I've been saying the same thing. Time is going fast. There you have it, man, right? You can't make this up. I'm not up here. You got a lot of brothers and sisters saying, you know, you're lying. You're crazy, right? And they unsubscribing from the YouTube channel. I'm not crazy, man. Right? I know I'm not crazy. But this Bible, it can have you, people look at you crazy. People say, what do you mean the time is going by fast? You just watch too much TV. No, the time is speeding up, man. And certain men, they're blessed than other men on the earth. And that's deep when you think about it. Right? Because it said, Esdras, let's get this in 2nd Esdras, right? Chapter 8. This 2nd Esdras chapter 8 and verse 51. It says, but understand thou for thyself, and seek out the glory for such as be like thee. For unto you is paradise open, the tree of life is planted. Right? The time is come prepared, plentiness is made ready, a city is builded, and rest is allowed, yet perfect dealing and wisdom. The root of evil is sealed up from you. Right? So Uriel is telling Ezra, guess what? The root of evil, all of the evils I told you, you don't have to worry about it. You're safe. Imagine the Lord telling you you're safe. And you don't got to worry about time running out. Right? You're safe and sound. The Lord is going to protect you. That's what Uriel told Esdras, man. So Esdras is a blessed man, because a lot of men and women is not gonna have that protection. Some men, they gonna get caught out there, right? Then they're gonna wish they could have went harder in the time that they had left, right? So Esdras, hey, he blessed, man, right? And so let's go to Sirach, chapter 33, and verse 1. And knowing that the time is at an all-time high and the days are going by so much faster, it should always have you in the spirit, man. Because you know the moment you slack, yeah, hey, that could be it. So the time speeding up, hey, that could always have you on edge, man. Now you know, okay, I don't got enough time. The work of the Lord gotta come first. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. It's not enough. You start to lose sleep because it's the damn time going by fast. You start plucking out your beard. You might start going crazy. This is how serious this truth is, right? This truth is not a video game. No, this truth is that serious. You pulling out your beard. You trying to worry about is you gonna make it or not. That's what the real men of the Lord is gonna worry about. They're gonna worry about if they're gonna make it. I don't know if I'm gonna make it, right? Let alone do I deserve to make it? Absolutely not, right? But Lord willing, every brother and sister on this call make it through the Spirit. If I don't make it and y'all make it, that's cool. I'm fine with that, right? Because I don't deserve to make it. After everything that I have done, hey, I don't even deserve to be in the truth, man. But that the Lord gave me a shot at the kingdom and to do the work of the Lord, hey, that's all I really need, man. But you're going to be on edge. You got to be on edge in the last days. You got to worry about if you're going to make it, if you're not going to make it. That's like you see on some of these movies, it's a door. Sometimes like a door come down like this. It'd be like a door coming down, right? And somebody's walking. Now, if that door is shut, hey, that's kind of it. It is what it is, right? But that door could be coming down and they running and then they slide underneath. You see it all the time in the movies. That's how it is in this truth. Are you going to slide underneath and make it by the skin of your hairs? Or are you going to have the door shut on you? Which one? Right? Let's go to Sirach chapter 33. Right at verse number 1. Right? Dang. It's the book of Sirach, chapter 33, and verse 1. It says, there shall no evil happen unto him that feareth the Lord. Right? So in this time that the Lord, this little time that the Lord is giving you, you should be building up your faith. You should be fearing the Lord. How do you fear the Lord? By keeping his commandments. You should inquire of the wisdom, right? Because Satan gonna bring any opportunity for you to get idle, for you to get your mind focused off the Most High. Guess what you gotta tell Satan? I don't have time. That's what you gotta start doing, man. I don't have time. I don't have time. I just don't have time. Your mom say you want to go out to Steak and Shake? Just say I don't have time. Right? So what if she get mad? So what if your grandma get mad? Tell her I don't have time. Right? Your boss, you want to come in for those extra hours? And then you know it's your fast day. Guess what you got to tell him? I don't have time. Right? These are things you should be saying. And in that time, you should be fearing the Lord. You should be praying more than ever. You should be fasting as much as you can. As much as your schedule fits you, you should be trying to go hard, man. Right? Because guess what? There shall no evil happen to him that feareth the Lord. But in temptation, even again, he will deliver him. And that's plain, man. right? It's gonna be no evil happening to the man that fears the Lord. Right, let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 8. Right? Let's go to the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 8 and verse number 5. Right? It's the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 8 and verse number 5. It reads, whoso keepeth the commandment shall feel no evil thing, and a wise man heart discerneth time, both time and judgment. See that? So if you're keeping the commandments, you're going to have nothing to fear. You're going to be fully protected by the Lord. You're going to have an angel that's encamping you round about. You're going to walk out with some type of confidence. But it also says a wise man's heart, meaning a mind, a discern of both time and judgment. Now, you could look at that twofold, threefold, however you want, right? But on a onefold, a wise man, he's going to discern the time. He's going to say, you know what? Time is moving by fast. Damn. It was just damn January. It felt like 3 months. You might have said, I was just in high school 2 years ago, right? And man, it felt like, brothers say all the time, man, it felt like 8th grade. I was 23 like 3 years ago. That's because the Lord is putting that spirit out on the earth. The Lord is putting that spirit out. Oh, dang. It used to be that 2013. I felt like a kid, right? That song, oh, I remember that show. Man, time be moving. You know, these old heads, they kind of say time be moving by fast. Then next thing you know, they 35 years old. They used to, as they said it, they felt like 23 yesterday. Now they 35 years old. Because a wise man, he's able to discern that time. Right, let's go to Proverbs. Right, chapter 23. It's like 22 and verse 3. Proverbs chapter 22 and verse number 3. It says what? A prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself. So a prudent man is a man of understanding. He's going to see the evil. He's going to see Jacob's trouble coming, right? And that also goes into self-examination. Because if you constantly examine yourself, you're going to say, okay, dang, I know I need to do this. Let me take that extra 2 hours that I spend playing video games and let me apply it to the reading. Or let me apply that 2 hours to some history, right? Or let me go into the Hebrew a little bit. These are the decisions you have to make. It says what? But the simple pass on and are punished. But simple men, they're going to say, simple men like Jake in the world, he's going to say, you know what? You just don't understand the concept of time when you're a child. Children, they don't get the concept of time. That's why it moves slow. Those men that say that, they the simple men that's going to pass on and the Lord going to kill them. It's straight up. So you don't want to, you want to be that prudent man that foresees the evil. Not the simple man that pass on and get destroyed. Right? Dang, I just forgot the priest I was going to go to. Right? Lord willing to come back. Right, let's go to the book. See. Dang, I just forgot that mug. Right? Right, we go to another one through the Spirit. Right, let's go to 2nd Esdras. Right, Lord willing to come back to me. Right, let's go to 2nd Esdras. Right, chapter 2. Right, let's go to 2nd Esdras, chapter 2. Right, and verse number 13. Right, it's the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 2, and verse number 13. It says, go and ye shall receive. Pray for a few days unto you, that they may be shortened. See that? So when I said earlier that when the time is moving by fast, right, it's exciting, but it's scary at the same time. It's scary because you got great evils that's going to multiply on our earth. And man can't comprehend what he's about to see. But also, it's exciting because your salvation is drawing near. And your salvation, they tell you in Romans 13 and 11, hey, our salvation is nearer than we believe. Your salvation is right at the door. Are you going to hop over that finish line? Are you going to jump up? Are you going to run to that finish line? Run through it? Or are you going to fake? And we got to, hey, it's right there, but we got a long way to go through the Spirit. But the Lord said, pray for a few days unto you that they may be shortened. So it's a commandment. You have to pray that the Lord shorten the days. We read it in 2nd Ezra chapter 2 and verse 13. It's a commandment. All right, the Lord said, plain upon tables, pray for a few days that they may be shortened. It's what God said, right? It says the kingdom is already prepared for you. Watch, right? And do you really believe that the kingdom of heaven is already prepared? Or are you just going along with other brothers say and saying, Khan, yeah, Khan, Akim, Khan. Are you always that Khan, brother? Do you actually believe that the kingdom is already prepared? Right? That's the real question. Do you actually believe in this truth? Right? And the last thing it says is watch. Right? So that's deep at the same time. Right? So it's watch. That's what you got to do in the last days. You got to constantly watch, man. You got to watch the time. You got to watch the prophecies. You got to watch these spirits. You got to watch your spirit. You got to watch a lot of things. You might have to watch over the congregation. The Lord he gets down with watching, right? The Lord gets down with planting seeds. You know, after a while, you start to learn what the Lord does and what the Lord likes. The Lord likes gardens. He likes fruit. Guess what? The Lord also likes a watchman upon the high tower. And you can't rest. The moment you close your eyes, that could be it, man. Right? Let me get that in Isaiah. Chapter 66. Right? It's the book of Isaiah. Right? It's like that might be 60. Isaiah chapter 66 and verse high tower. Salakia. That's okay. We go to Jeremiah. Right? Right, we go to the book. Actually, we go to Ezekiel. Right? Let's go to the book of Ezekiel, chapter 33 and verse 1. Right, so the Lord gets down with the watchmen. Right, it's the book of Isaiah, chapter 33 and verse 2. It's like Ezekiel, chapter 33 and verse 2. It says, Son of man, speak to the children of thy people and say unto them, when I bring a sword upon a land, and the people of the land take a man for their coast and set him for their watchman. So the Lord is taking certain men and he's setting them for the watchman in the last days. And you want to make sure you that sister and that brother that's a watchman. It says, and when he seeth the sword come upon the land, he blow the trumpet and warn the people. Then whosoever heareth the sound of the trumpet and taketh not warning, if the sword come and take him away, his blood shall be upon his own head. And you don't want that blood to be upon your own head, man. So you seeing that time is going by fast. You seeing the days are getting shorter. The weeks are speeding up. Guess what? If you don't take heed, that blood gonna be upon your own hand. It's on you, right? So let's go to Jeremiah chapter 21. That's the precept I wanted. Right, Jeremiah chapter 21 and verse number 8. Right? Let's go to the book of Jeremiah chapter 21 and verse 8. Right, so the question of the night is, what are you gonna do in this short amount of time? Right, that's what I really should have titled the video. What are you going to do in this short amount of time? Are you going to be on edge? Right? Are you always going to try to walk in the spirit? Are you going to try to do the things that you know is going to benefit you? Or are you going to be lazy and think you got all the time of the world, right? And fold the hands and kick your feet up. What are you going to do? You got to be on edge, man. We in the last days. There's no turning back. There's no stopping, right? Jake said that in the world, right? It's straight tunnel vision. That's what Jake said. And you got to have straight tunnel vision. There's no stopping, man. What are you stopping for? If you stop, you get caught up behind. That could be it for you. There's no stopping, man. Right? It's literally go mode. Right? Jake say it's demon time. Right? Hey, it's not demon time, but hey, it's go mode. All right. So let's go to Jeremiah. Right, chapter 21. It's straight go mode. Right? It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 21, and verse number 8. And unto this people thou shalt say, thus saith the Lord, behold, I set before you the way of life and the way of death. So the Most High is constantly setting before men the way of life and for death, right? A wise man once said, every action or decision that you make is either life or death. Every decision, right? Literally every decision. If you're gonna eat those hot crunchy curls, that could be a life or death situation. If you're gonna eat that pork chops in the kitchen because it's the last thing in the fridge to eat, that's a life or death situation. If you don't go on that fast, that's a possibly life or death situation. So every choice and decision that's set before you by the Most High is either life or death. You have to make that decision yourself. That's up to you. I can't make that decision for you. It's totally up to you. It's either life or death. It says, verse 9, he that abideth in a city shall abide at a sword. And that's in the context, it's talking about Babylon, right? It's really talking about Jerusalem, where you go into it. But on another fold, if you abide in the city of America, you're going to be destroyed. If you don't come out of America, like it says in Revelation 18:4, you're going to die. I'm going to say that again. If you don't come out of this completely, you're going to die here. Imagine that. You've been getting your back whooped in for 400 plus years, 430 plus years, right? You get treated unfairly at your job, right? These people in the world, they don't like you. You was trying to be somebody you're not, they still didn't like you. Guess what? You die in the land of your captivity. You die right with the so-called white man. That's a horrible death, man. I would rather drown than to die, get buried right next to the so-called white man. Right? So, hey, if you remain in the city, you're going to die by the sword, and by famine, and by the pestilence. But he that goeth out and falleth to the Chaldeans that besiege you, he shall live, and his life shall be unto him for a prey. Right? And the Lord, he's only saying that because the Lord told them to just serve their captivity. But, you know, our forefathers were stiff-necked. They wanted to stay in Israel, right? But Most High said, you know, if you go to Babylon and just serve your captivity, you're going to live. But the people of the land, they didn't want to hear that. So the Most High is always setting a choice before you. You have life or you have death, right? What are you going to choose with the time that you have left? Because time is short. Time is running out. We don't have time like that, man. But let's go to Revelation. Right? Let's go to the book of Revelation. Right? The classic. Right? Let's go to the book of Revelation. Chapter 20. And I want verse. I'm going to start at verse number 12. Right? It's the book of Revelation. So like in my page, it's kind of ripping. Right, it's Revelation chapter 20 and verse 12. And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before God, and the books were open. And in that day, when the Lord come back, right, it's chiefly going into the second coming of Yahushua. The books are gonna be open. That's it. The score is gonna be tallied up. It's no more doing righteous, no more going on the highways and byways when the Lord come back. It's wraps. It says, and another book was open, which is the book of life. And this book of life is something serious, man, when you go into it. It says, and the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the book, according to their works, right? And the sea gave up the dead which were in it, and death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them, and they were judged every man according to the works. And that's what's going to happen. Every man, woman, child. It tell you in Proverbs 20 and 11, even a child is known by their doings. So children, they're going to get judged as well. All right? So that a judgment day is coming. All right, let's go to the book of Ecclesiastes. Let's go to the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12. All right? And verse number 14. It's the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, and verse number 14. For God shall bring every work into judgment. It says with every secret thing. Right? So the Lord is in the last days, he's going to bring every work that you have into judgment. The things you done in the dark. The things you didn't want brothers to really know about. You didn't want sisters to know about. The things it's only between you and the Most High. And the Lord are going to bring those secret things into judgment as well. And your works, period. Literally everything you have done is going to be brought into judgment. It says, whether it be good, all of your righteous works, your alms, your fastings, your counsel, right? You being a righteous example. Everything you've done, your compassion, is going to be brought into judgment. Or whether it be evil. So the Lord is going to bring every judgment and a work, whether it be good or evil. He's going to bring that into judgment. And he's going to literally tally up the scores so that you can score no more. Right? So the question of the night again is, what are you going to do in the short time that the Lord is giving you right now? Right? And with that, right, we giving all honor and glory to the Most High. Yahweh, Ba'ashem Mashiach Wamarak Yahushua. Right, Lord willing, this video is edifying, man. Continue to do all you can. Keep going hard. Keep putting forth the effort, right? Keep laboring as much as you can. Anything can help, man. Hey, it's time to be on go mode, Israel. It's time to be on straight go mode. Right, so Lord willing, this video is edifying. Giving all honor and glory to the Most High, Yahweh. Ba'ashem Mashiach Wamarak Yahushua. Shalom.